Hi everyone, welcome to an all-new episode of the Loud Casa Talks, or in our case, the Really Loud House episode reviews. We haven't been doing this for quite a while, so that's the reason why we're going back and doing more of episode reviews for y'all. So everyone, my name is Nate. On my right is Omid. How you doing, sir?
I am doing good. What is up, really loud crowd? And I hope that you all had a really awesome Thanksgiving holiday filled with turkey, mashed potatoes, family, friends, football, and a whole lot of fun.
I think the best thing is the fact that we end up hanging with family, but I think the other best thing of all when it comes to Thanksgiving is food. It's
Yes,
just getting myself stuffed up with food, with the turkey, the stuffing, the mashed potatoes, and everything. Football games are also fun too, but I think it's just the family time that always is great around Thanksgiving.
definitely. I amen to that. Amen to that.
All right, so well, I know that last week was pretty much Thanksgiving, so that's why we're going to be talking about this for a little bit. I mean, how was your Thanksgiving break? You had 4 days off of work, so I'd imagine it was
Yeah.
exciting for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was definitely a good way for me to take a break off work, and so what happened that is that on Thursday I went to a family friend's place to celebrate. I had 3 servings of turkey, mashed potatoes, Persian food, and all that stuff, and yeah, all that good stuff, and then um and then on Friday I went to um Oh yeah, on Friday I went to downtown San Jose to check out the World Cup match of England versus USA, and of course we all know how that ended up. It ended up in a tie, and then after that, I went to walk around downtown San Jose for a bit, and then I went to go see a movie, Strange World. Thought it was okay movie, and then later on afterwards, I went to the Christmas in the Park in downtown San Jose. It looked really nice at night. Yeah, it looked really festive. I gotta say, it was pretty cool. And
So
then,
how was Christmas in the park? Because I know that there's an event happening for Christmas in the park. I'm still questionable if I even want to go to that.
um, the Christmas at the Park in downtown San Jose, it looks okay. It's something you want to check out at least once. But I would say that like if you want the full on Christmas experience, I know I haven't gone there, but it's something I have to do anyway. I would definitely go shoot for the Winter Wonderland and PayPal Park. I heard the Winter Wonderland PayPal Park was looks
I
pretty
saw that
legit.
it was actually, according to what my friends have been telling me, do you want to spend $40 there?
Um, it's just something that it's not something you want to do alone, obviously, but it is something you want to do with company. And even then, it that's only if you don't have any other plans for the
I
holidays or
mean, it's
Christmas.
like a 50-50 for me. You were there at PayPal Park when you watched the game, right? Did you see that or not?
No, no, no. No. I was at a pub at downtown San
Oh,
Jose.
I thought you actually went to like the big screen at the PayPal Park area.
No, I didn't go to the PayPal Park at all. I've never been.
Oh, yeah, it's only for San Jose earthquake games, but nobody cares about the San Jose earthquakes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the only like San Jose team besides the Sharks that also play down in the area San Jose to say. So cool. That's awesome that you here had an awesome Thanksgiving. For me, it was just mostly hanging out with family on Thursday. Uh, Friday, I ended up going to Monterey with mom and my sister. Ended up having a fun time. Checked out the 17-mile drive. And then we didn't go to the aquarium, unfortunately, but we went to Cannery Row, which is pretty much next to the aquarium. Had a fun time. Had some food there, seafood over there, obviously. And then just checked out what Monterey has. Looks pretty nice. With the ocean pretty much right there in front of you. And then the 17-mile drive, I think, is actually really nice to see because you get to see Pebble Beach, you get to see the beaches out there. You also get to see like all the historic moments in the 17-mile drive. So I think that was just awesome to see. And then on Saturday, I went over with my mom and my sister again. We ended up checking out Napa Valley. Did some wine tasting at a couple of wineries, but then after that, we had to go straight home because I also had to visit other family as well. So, yeah, it's a lot of like fun time with family to say. And then on Sunday, we just watched football. It wasn't really much of a big day anyway. So, yeah. But Thanksgiving still was just an awesome time, just hang out with family, 4 days off because work has been busy. I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
Yeah, it really
It's been
has.
busy.
Like
Yeah.
it's kind of taken a bit of a toll on me recently. I'm not gonna lie, but
Hmm. It
you know
hasn't
how
been
that
it
feeling,
hasn't been busy for you, huh? So what?
like
Like a lot of
you know the feeling how you're a bit drained off. a bit drained off of work just a little bit. You just want to go home, like, so this is
Yeah,
over.
my thing right now is that upcoming from what I've been seeing from our company, it feels like there's more things to come, which to me feels like we're gonna have more busy times coming up, and I'm like, oh, gotta get ready for that.
Wish you the best, man. Wish you the best
Yeah.
luck.
Okay. All right, that's enough of our Thanksgiving. Hope you all have an amazing Thanksgiving yourselves. We all had a fun time. I hope you guys had a fun time too. All right, let's head over straight to our episode reviews. And of course, we're talking about The Really Loud House. So let's start off with the second episode of The Really Loud House called The Chore Thing. Synopsis here says when Lincoln tries to get out of his chores on chore day, he and Clyde end up on a police ride along, drawing unwanted attention from the notorious Custard gang leader. Meanwhile, Lynn Sr. loses all of his kids throughout the afternoon. Okay, so first off, the episode begins with Lincoln pretty much saying, like, hey, I'm going to have a fun time with Clyde, doing this whole virtual reality thing, having a perfect Saturday with a beach day with Clyde. But unfortunately, it is chore day with Lynn Sr. pretty much telling every Loud out there that you got to do some chores. Obviously, it's not the first time we've seen Louds do chores. Remember back in season 1, remember they did a chore and peace thing, if I remember that
Yes.
episode?
Yes.
And then, of course,
Five,
Cover Girls is
two,
another
four,
Cover Girls
six,
as well as another
yes.
episode. Yeah, so to say the least, this is pretty much like reflecting back to like the first episodes of the Loud House where you get to see them do chores and things like that. How do you like the fact that they now put it in reality there?
Yeah, honestly, I do like the fact that it pretty much features the Louds doing chores again, just like in a couple of these season 1 episodes. It's definitely a good throwback because let's face it, like being part of a family, of course, is pretty much doing your share of the work, in terms of the housework and the chores and all this stuff. So, given this a big, house, of course, there's going to be like many tasks to do. So, of course, you're going to give one task to each of these siblings, and yeah, Lincoln, rather than protesting and going 1, 2, 3, 4, I won't do your stupid chores.
I was gonna say, are they ever gonna put that there too? Were they gonna protest? I'm like, okay, cool. We're really looking back into Short Peace, for example.
I'm honestly kind of surprised they didn't do that. I'm honestly surprised that.
Well,
like,
here's the
Lincoln
thing: will they
didn't
really
protest.
want to put it in live action, where they would influence kids to say, "Hey, protest in front of your parents and say don't do chores"?
Well, the thing is though is that like when we've seen this like really Loud House live action movie, like even in live action form, like this series does pretty much bring out a bit of the wackiness, a bit of the craziness, not as much as the animated form show, of course, because there's so much you get away with in animation. But even so, though, live action, there's a bit of the cartoony stuff right there, so it wouldn't be far fetched if they actually did bring that up here.
So the thing here is that to get him out of doing chores, Lincoln actually ended up just trying to mess up his own chores. So, and that actually worked. How was that? How do you like that idea where Lincoln tries to get out of his chores by just, messing up on his chores?
Yeah, this is pretty much what we call faking incompetence just to get out of a job. And I mean like pretty much Lincoln pretty much has this thing where like pretty much he uses whatever strategy he can to get out of chores. Each of them differ from the last. Like in Chore and Peace, you see him protesting. In Cover Girls, you see him dressing up as the sisters, and then in Chore Thing, you pretty much see him, of course, faking incompetence, faking doing a bad job just so that Lynn Senior would have to do the job for him. And I'm thinking to myself, you might want to be careful again because sooner or later, Lynn Senior is going to find because it's going to catch on to you, and it's going to come back to bite you in the butt. So if you do it too much, it ain't going to be as effective anymore. Just saying.
I thought that was actually pretty clever. I thought when I was looking back at like how they were doing this chore thing, I thought they were gonna go back to the old episodes of the Loud House on how to actually get away with chores. For example, like Cover Girls take cover of each other to say, or for example, the Short Piece where they do a protest, which I don't think was gonna happen anyways. This time around, the man with the plan ended up actually having a plan, and this works out. And to be fair, that's clever from the writers to do something like that, where it's like, oh my god, you keep on messing up. No, I'll let the parents do it. Let Lincoln do his own thing. Yeah, so I thought that was actually pretty clever of the writers to actually do an idea like that.
Yeah, I agree, and also, I just have to say, what was I going to say? Yeah, it's something we never seen before. Like I said, like it's pretty much a strategy that is used effectively to a certain point anyway. But like honestly, I'm thinking to myself, why doesn't the senior just show Lincoln how to do it instead of just giving up saying, "Fine, I'll do
Well,
it
in
myself."
that example, when he blew up the vacuum cleaner, there's no vacuum cleaner to use anymore.
I mean, like another thing too is that you could have at least like Liz Senior could have bought another vacuum cleaner, or he could have punish Lincoln for that, even though it may be done accident or not. It's like you got to get the job done.
Yeah, but nonetheless, I mean, it still worked out. I don't know. I feel like there's I wouldn't say Lincoln Loud formula that's happening here.
Um, no, I wouldn't. I would really count it in this case because even though it is Liquid Loud scheming, it is like I said before. Like it's a plot that's done in a different way. It goes different route, and we're gonna touch upon that. You know,
Okay.
we're still gonna touch upon it.
Yeah, so since Rita, so here's the thing, like they're all gonna do chores, but Rita has to go to work. Lindsay just pretty much left with two jobs, making sure the house is clean and also making sure Lily doesn't run away. But it is easier said than done because throughout this episode, we can see Lindsay just continue to lose Lily. Even if even if he was holding her in her hands, he still ended up losing her or something like that. Nonetheless, it's kind of overwhelming for a dad. How do you feel about Lynn Senior in this situation here?
You really got to feel for poor Lynn Sr. Like, not only does he have to watch over all 11 of these kids, like, including and especially the baby Lily, but also just by the fact that he has to make sure that they do the chores effectively. And that by itself is difficult to deal with as well, considering the fact that, let's face it, the Louds aren't exactly the most focused family when it comes to chores. So, that's even more weight on Lynn Senior's shoulders. So I'm thinking to myself, Lynn Senior definitely deserves like at least a paid vacation after this. Like he deserves to go he deserves some R&R time after this.
I hope so, but it's just a little overwhelming the fact that he ends up actually trying to watch his kids to say even do the chores and all that. But yeah, for a dad like him, without Rita, it would probably be like, oh, I really need help.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just thinking like I know Rita has to go to work, but then I'm just thinking they should have at least scheduled a chore day to when Rita is free, to when Rita has a day off, because we've seen how Rita can be an effective parent.
Right. So, in order to get out of the chore day, Lincoln comes up with a plan to purposely suck at chores, which we pretty much set the example for. This would backfire. This would backfire though because Clyde would come into the house and fortunately actually talk about the scheme. So yeah, it turns out Clyde would actually ruin the whole situation, and looks like the jig is up for Lincoln. Your thoughts here? What happened?
I knew it. I told you, didn't I tell you? I told you so. Like, and I told you that sooner or later Lynn Senior would figure this out. But it's not by observance, but rather it's through his best friend's big mouth that caused Lynn Senior to, realize that, Lincoln is faking, doing a bad job of chores, just to get out of chore day. I sort of knew that it would come back to bite him in the butt sooner or later, but yeah, it turns out Lynn Senior isn't really happy with how like Lincoln is trying to pretty much get out of an important day.
No, my other thing here is the fact that, God damn it, Clyde, why would you come in early before he ends up actually making the plan of breaking glasses to say?
And another thing too is that like even at that, like Clyde shouldn't have said that. Like
Yeah, exactly. He just came in just so in purpose. Like he came in about to go on a beach day. He literally puts on like his VR headset, thinking like I'm ready for the beach. But unfortunately, like I don't think he had the word to hear the fact that Lincoln didn't actually put the plan up yet. And then when the plan turned out to happen, he was there too early. So Lynn Senior knew about the whole plan from the start. And I'm like, guys, you're brothers. You're supposed to actually like connect properly when it comes to situations like this.
poor
The man with a
timing, right?
plan
Talk about
got his plan. The man with a plan got his plan ruined by Clyde.
man with the plan, my butt, right?
Oh, he still is a man with a plan. I think the thing here that I've been focused that I've been seeing on of these first two episodes is the fact that Man with the Plan has been like the focus. Like first episode, Man with the Plan does his own thing to try to get like that Macho Man badge or something, and then this time around he's doing another plan to get himself out of doing chores. So I don't know if this is the route that they're doing with the Really Loud House, but the Man with the Plan Lincoln is just I think the focus here.
Yeah, I think that even with like Man of the Plan Lincoln, there are times where it does work well, like his plans do work well, but then there are other times where the plans fall flat in his face and they miss because so it's pretty much a hit or miss when it comes to plans being executed well or not. And in this case here, it's the latter.
Right. So here's the thing. Lincoln got caught, and pretty much Lynn Senior told Lincoln and Clyde to pretty much work out the front yard. Which, to be fair, it's going to be a long time. But Lincoln has other ways to get his chores done faster, and that is to actually up the ante and actually make your engine go faster, mowing the lawn and everything. So Lincoln had Lana fix up the mower so that it could go faster and even do the job faster enough. But unfortunately, it goes way too fast to a point where Lincoln drives them out of the yard and into the streets. What makes it worse is that there's a police car literally chasing after them. So to say the least, he's pretty much arrested.
He's a criminal.
He's a criminal. Just a speeding ticket to say. I didn't know he actually sped 65 miles per hour over or something like that. So what are your thoughts here on the scene where Lincoln and Clyde end up going on a high-speed chase and end up getting caught by a cop?
This really does feel like you're going from watching the Really Loud House to watching Cops. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that intense, but even so, oh my god, the way that the mower is set up. Look, the mower looks like a go-kart, and what makes the mower even more like a go-kart is the speed that they would go. It's like boom, like it's sort of like it gives me Mario Kart vibes. So pretty much here you can call this Lincoln Kart. Do you ever get Mario Kart vibes by that?
Not really. I mean, it is just pretty much a car. It is pretty much a lawnmower. But the thing is that what Lana did was pretty much like as she does as like a mechanic, she just does whatever it takes to make it go faster. And so far it works. I don't know what, but I feel like Lana is like a really key person in this.
Oh yeah.
I've been liking that so far. I mean, I know that Lincoln is trying to get himself out of doing chores, and that's why he's doing this whole Man with a Plan thing. So when he had this plan to up the ante and get his mower to go faster, I thought that was like, okay, wow, Man with the Plan. I'm guessing you want to do whatever it takes to make sure you get out of your chores. So do that to ruin the yard, to say.
Even if it means getting arrested, like he's going that far to be like.
In that case, he got arrested, to say. But yeah, here's the other thing too. They actually went through Mr. Grouse's house, and I'm like, I was hoping Mr. Grouse was actually there, and I'm like, damn it, you could have had a chance to actually give me Mr. Grouse.
Yeah, like the moment when Mr. Grouse's own house appeared in the Really Loud House. Like Mr. Grouse's house is a Really Loud House character than Mr. Grouse himself.
Right. I can get it. But yeah, pretty much in this episode now, we get to see Lincoln and Clyde pretty much arrested. He got caught by a cop because of speeding, and pretty much that's it for them. They're pretty much on a stock cop car. But how about the other sisters? Because they're doing their own chores as well. So let's meet up with Lola and Lucy, because they actually skipped out doing their chores and actually are pretty much locked down in the basement watching scary movies. The door is locked, and it looks like there's this sort of like monster that's also down there. It looks like that furnace is like really scaring them for sure.
It's a goat beast, half goat, half beast.
Half ghost, half beast, yeah. This makes it your situation. This makes your situation go from bad to worse, not only missing Lily, but also his other two siblings as well. Or his other two daughters. How bad do you feel for Lynn Sr. here, knowing the fact that like Lynn Sr. just lost 3 kids?
Yeah, as if Lily Loud being missing wasn't bad enough. Like you got not only the youngest sibling, but also you've got even more siblings that are not to be found. So yeah, it's quite a handful for Lynn Sr. And like I said, I do feel bad for Lynn Sr. And just knowing by the fact that it's pretty much easier said than done by him at this point. And we're really hoping that somehow some of the Loud sisters could get out of the basement, and then that they can pretty much do the chores as planned, right by Lynn Senior's side. But although
to be fair, from the way that Lucy and Lola were just pretty much skipping out and just watching movies downstairs, it feels like they're doing the same thing like Lincoln is doing and not doing chores.
Yeah. Also, one more thing I gotta add is I love the Lucy and Lola bonding here.
Yeah,
It's
you know what? I was gonna say that too. Where are we gonna find more bonding moments like this between these two?
yeah, it's pretty much it's a continuity thing, like where it continues their bond from Tea Tail Heart and She's All Bat.
But
Like you
then
pretty
you
much
have
got the Lucy Lola trilogy
okay.
where
Here's the thing:
yeah.
like, I never expect Lola Loud to actually know about, well, to actually watch scary movies, because I know Lucy will, because she's into horror, she's a goth, things like that. I didn't expect Lola to actually be a part of that as well and actually watch scary movies with Lucy to say. So that's
I
like
think
absolutely new to me.
I think that deep down, Lola just wants to use it as a way to get out of chores, even if it means watching movies that isn't really her favorite genre. So that's quite sneaky planning on Lola's part.
Yeah, I guess that works, but still, I mean, a cool bonding moment between Lola and Lucy here. Never expect to see that since she's all bad to say.
Yeah, it's like she'd rather have nightmares from a scary movie than do chores. It's like it's sort of the thing with the loud kids is that like they'd rather suffer the most horrid fates than do chores. Like Lincoln wants to be a criminal, Lola wants to have nightmares.
Right.
It's like, is Chore Thing really that bad?
So here's the other thing too. Yeah. I'm pretty much there. Yeah. I guess. So here's the thing too. You get to see Lola and Lucy pretty much sit down in the basement. They're pretty much stuck in the basement because the door handle is missing now. But how about the other sisters, like Lisa, Luna, and Lenny? Let's go actually hit up with Lisa, for example, because she was about to clean the bathroom, and she thinks it's like her favorite thing because she had an invention to actually clean up the whole thing, and then what happened for that machine is that Lisa thought that she evaporated Lily. What was your thoughts on that part here?
That Zapparator thing, it's I'm just thinking to myself, whoa, like that's she didn't think to try to like test it out before using it in the bathroom because that machinery looks massive and it looks kind of deadly. But
I don't know
yeah,
how he's doing it because the thing is like it was prepped up to actually like clean the whole thing, but then that ray was pretty much aimed at Lily, and I'm like, Lisa, do you know better how to clean instead of actually just using like a machine to just clean it all up? Now you just evaporated your sister.
yeah, I'm just like maybe she should have just like cleaned normally, like like use her normal cleaning techniques on the stuff. Or actually, why not do this? Why not have a robot that cleans? She's invented robots. She's never
Yeah,
had bad luck with
you
robots.
made you made a lot of Fredbots to say. I mean, you could have actually used that, but instead using an evaporator ray, I don't know. It's cool. Lisa can do a lot of inventions, but these inventions can also be kind of lethal to say. Now, when you look at this scene, you're kind of thinking like, is Lily gone? Literally gone? And I hope not.
We don't want Lily to be gone. We don't want Lily to be gone. She's too young to be gone.
Now, Lisa needs to fix her dilemma when it comes to working with Lily, but how about Lenny and Luna? Looks like Lenny was not even like cleaning up her clothes. She was like cleaning clothes up, but then cleaning her own clothes up. Luna was also doing her chores on the window, but again with her dad at work. So to be fair, they were actually like doing music together, and it kind
Yeah,
of annoyed Lenny.
I like the part that's like Luna could find a rhythm to anything, even
Yeah,
even if it's a
even like
chore.
with your chores, you're doing like scrubbing windows and stuff, which I guess
I
that works.
love that. I love that. Like honestly, this is one of the reasons why Luna's best girl. She
I
can
mean, to be
find a rhythm
fair,
to anything.
Sophia does a really good job working with Luna Loud, and of course, she like gets that musical rhythm and things like that, and it worked out for her. Yeah, I'm not surprised Lenny's a little annoyed by that.
Yeah, I guess this isn't really her, thing or anything like that. She's like, I love how she looks annoyed here in this image. Like Lenny's like looking annoyed there. I was like, I can't believe I'm related to this family. I just love that look she gives.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, good actresses here. They're really working it out for Lenny and Luna right now.
Yeah, she managed to
Okay,
impress me. She managed to impress me, and this is coming from someone who still misses Dora Dolphin. Her successor manages to pull off a great Lenny as well.
all right. So here's the thing. Now, Lincoln and Clyde are in a cop car. They're about to be booked when the police officer spots this new person that we never heard about called Milkshake Marty and his custard gang. They're up to no good on Auntie Pam's parlor, which, by the way, Auntie Pam, little reference to all the Loud House fans out there. Yes, Auntie Pam is actually here in this
Yes,
episode. Yeah.
Auntie Pam is back.
I didn't expect her to be kidnapped by a gang of like milkshake people.
Yeah, it turns out that she was like tied up and gagged inside the parlor, and I sort of fear for her safety. I fear for her life.
I'm just kind of surprised about this whole like get up of like, this milkshake Marty guy just ganging up on a ice cream parlor girl. Yeah, to say the
Yeah.
least, this is kind of a scary situation to say. What are your thoughts on this heroic act where Lincoln actually comes up and says, "Hey, this is not Auntie Pam. This is a milkshake Marty here."
Yeah, I do like the fact that Lincoln did, have the courage to bust, Milkshake Marty, like bust his disguise. And the way he does it is really clever. Like he asks these like trivial questions about, Auntie Pam's parlor, Auntie Pam's ice cream. And when Milkshake Marty disguises Auntie Pam, like, gets an answer wrong, that's when he says, busted. Lincoln busts, Milkshake Marty, and he ends up getting arrested and into a police car next to Lincoln and Clyde, which may not be the safest thing for Lincoln and Clyde.
So my thing here is that, well, first off, shout outs to this guy here who actually portrayed Milkshake Marty. If you don't know him, he's the director. If you watch the show Big Time Rush, he was the manager of the band. So after Big Time Rush, he started doing other roles, and it's kind of funny that he ended up actually becoming like this anti Pam person, and it's hilarious to actually have him come into the show. So when I saw him, I'm like, holy crap, it's that guy from Big Time Rush. Yo, this is awesome. Where have you been ever since? Because it's been like what, like 5 years, 6 years since Big Time Rush ended.
Yeah, he still got his acting chops with him, and he still proves that he can pull off, Nick live action shows like this.
Yeah. But yeah, the other thing too is that, like I said, I'm just surprised with this whole new story for Auntie Pam. I guess Auntie Pam has this whole setup with gangs or something, or she's an unfortunate mistress that ended up going in the wrong end of a gang, and then like this Milkshake Marty guy is just starting to, how do you say, gang up with these ice cream parlors and just do whatever it takes to take care of ice cream or something like that. So, it's a really funny story. But yeah, I thought this was just great to have like Auntie Pam here, finally have Auntie Pam's parlor show up here. And it's kind of cool that it's, like I said, the Loud House crew is actually learning. I mean, the Really Loud House crew is really learning from what's going on in the Loud House. You actually are referencing a lot of stuff back into the Really Loud House, and it's working so far.
Yeah, it's worked at the beginning, and it keeps on continuing on like these spun on references. Like I said before, when you look at this, you think to yourself, yeah, you really are in a live action Loud House world. You're in live action Royal Woods.
And also, I kind of feel bad here for the cop because like the cop doesn't even know that it's not Auntie Pam. You have to have Lincoln and Clyde come up and say, "Hey, this is not Auntie Pam," and she asks questions to Auntie Pam, and then of course, like, yeah, Auntie Pam doesn't make cakes. You're busted, everything like that. Which cool for Lincoln.
Yeah, I'm just like, dude, Auntie Pam, like Milkshake Marty, when he's disguised as Auntie Pam, like he didn't even shave. Like he still has that like facial hair all around like his face, and I'm thinking to myself, maybe the cop should have caught that when he interacted with Milkshake Marty disguised as Auntie Pam. Just say,
Yeah,
it was kind of obvious.
It was kind of obvious. Yeah, it's just that this cop is kind of clueless to say.
Oh yeah.
So regardless of the hero status, Lincoln and Clyde still have to pay for their debt. They still have to pay their debt to society. But since they don't have the money, they have to scrub the floors of the police station pretty much for the whole until they get their debt to society paid. Which ends up being worse than his original job back home because Lincoln, of course, using his fake doing a good job role actually works out here. And it actually works making Lincoln and Clyde go home. Do you think the police officer let Lincoln off with the hook a little bit too early? What were your thoughts on this? Where the officer pretty much said like, "Hey, go home because you just messed up my desk."
Again, why doesn't he just show Lincoln how to do it? Like honestly, I'm just thinking to myself, what the police officer could have done, because keep in mind he doesn't even know Lincoln, he doesn't know his skills or anything like that. So what he could have done was like he could have shown Lincoln how to do the work. You know what I mean? And also by the fact that he pretty much lets Lincoln get off scot free. I'm thinking to myself, well, why didn't he just, charge him with a speeding ticket then? Like, because he's got to be punished one way or the other. Let's be real
Well, I
here.
mean, he did get punished eventually by this, but yeah, I mean, I feel like the man with the plan ends up continuing to do this great way of trying to get out with the plan, and the plan still works. I mean, the whole fact of like cleaning, like messing up on your cleanup of cleaning the floors, and he still ended up like getting away with it. So it's like, hey, I guess your plan worked out, Lincoln.
Yeah, he ends up getting away with it. I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm wondering how long it lasted. How long did they actually scrub the floors? Because if it lasted, like, say, 15, 30 minutes, I don't think it's quite good enough. I think that, like I said before, it should have been at least a couple hours of cleaning or speeding ticket. But maybe that's just me.
Yeah, well, nonetheless, Lincoln ends up actually getting through from the cops, not even to pay anything. She just pretty much cleaned the floors for a little bit, and then in the end, he ends up going free and everything. I don't care. I don't care. I thought that was, like I said, still a little clever, but it might be a little bit cheap. The fact that Lincoln never really got punished. I'm guessing we're having the good boy Lincoln here, even if
It's
his punishment
it's
is,
cheap. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty cheap. It was a cheap way for him
I
to pretty
guess.
much get out of trouble.
In your way to say it, yeah, I guess it is. So while Lincoln and Clyde were continuing on with cleaning up the police office, the police station to say, let's go back to the sisters, and it continues on where we get to see this trend of like the sisters are continuing on to just keep on being missing and missing, and the reason why is because, well, they keep on getting stuck in the basement. First off, it's Lana because Lana doesn't want Hops to what was the thing again? I know that the family wanted Hops to do
He,
something.
like he doesn't
Oh,
want hot.
be a part of the interdimensional travel and try to find Lily.
Yeah, like, but Lana says that like Hobbs is on like a carb diet, and Lynn Senior was telling Lana maybe we can bribe Hobbs with a slice of bread, and then he'll tell us whatever.
Well, either way, I thought Lana actually didn't want Hops to be that volunteer to go use Lisa's experiment to say.
Yeah, I like how Lana is very protective of Hobbs, not just by the fact that he's putting Hobbs on a diet, but also he's protecting him from danger. I'm thinking to myself, Lana Loud is such a mom in this episode, and I just love it. Like Lana Loud is such a mother to Hobbs.
So my thing here is that we also get to say Hops. Hey, it's a real life frog in this episode.
Yes,
Yeah, and if you know Hops, I mean, everybody should know Hops. Just the fact that Hops has been Lana's friend, like frog friend, ever since the start of
of
the show. To
course.
say,
Yeah,
and I
it
just
was
love
even
the fact
revealed.
that the writers are on par with that. So at least we get a little reference of that.
Like I said, the continuity for the most part spot on.
Okay. Yeah, so Lana first came down and pretty much she's stuck as well. Then Luann also left as well. And then also Lynn as well. So to say the least, the sisters are just continuing on like having a little domino effect of where they're just continuing to just go into the basement and kind of like get screwed up because they didn't know that the basement was pretty much locked up.
Yeah, you gotta feel for the Loud sisters, how like once they get down the basement, like they're kind of trapped in some way. And yeah, like the more the Loud sisters are in the basement, the worse the situation for Lynn Senior is. And by the way, I like this running gag of Lynn
Oh yeah,
Jr. being a sports
Look,
announcer.
I love that too. When I'm seeing Lynn Jr. just continuing to become a sportscaster, so it's like, oh, what if I'm not into sports? I'll become a sportscaster. Which, to be fair, that's what Josh Allen is doing. So,
Yeah,
it's great to see that. And throughout this whole episode, we get to see the gag of like Lynn Jr. just continuing on to just say, hey, play by play announcing and stuff like that. Which it's
Lynn,
actually a really funny gag in this episdon't.
is Lynn going to be the next Joe Buck?
Hey, I like Joe Buck. Shut up.
No, it's a compliment. It's a compliment.
I don't know. I heard a lot of talk about Joe, but anyways, but here's the thing too. Like Luann wanted to go down to the basement because he didn't want to hear Lynn Jr. continuing on with a sports casting, and nonetheless, she still came down as well. So I'm like, oh, did it work out for you, Luann?
Yeah, like I said, they're all trapped in the basement and
Oh,
with no way
and they're all
out.
trapped in a basement with this whole furnace thing. So, what was your thoughts on this whole furnace that's continuing to scare the sisters?
So yeah, like this furnace, like this goat beast, you could tell by the way they're frightened, the frightened look of their faces. You could tell that you know, they are pretty much they're pretty much thinking themselves like they're goners. Because there's this monster that's going to creep on them. Think of it as like a monster hiding in your closet, but rather it's a monster hiding in your basement.
Yeah. Nonetheless, I mean, it kind of, it's just okay. So it's weird because like kind of reminds me of Left in the Dark. Remember that first episode of The Loud House where they're kind of scared
I
of what was
remember
going on in
that.
the basement? So it was something like that, right? Yeah.
More
It,
continuity, more
it,
throwbacks.
it, it made me have that vibe of Left in the Dark where they, all the sisters are pretty much down there. They're scared of like what was going on down there, and they're trying their best to like, get out of the situation, do whatever it takes to say.
Season 1
It,
throwbacks galore.
it ain't no ARG episode, but it's just has that same vibe to say.
It really does. It really does. Like I said before, animated season 1 throwbacks galore.
So, again, the ongoing chain happens where we get to see Luna go down, Lenny go down, Lisa go down, and then even Lynn Sr. even fell down into the basement as well. To say the least, oh god, they're just also stuck. What's happening here? It's just continuing on with this motion here. Your thoughts on like what's happening?
Yeah, honestly, it kind of reminds me of like this one episode of Rugrats Passover, where they're all stuck in the attic, and like when the next character enters the attic, and then he closes the door, and then all the Rugrats characters are like, "Don't close the door."
I remember that.
I feel like it could have been the same thing here, where pretty much as soon as one loud sister like enters the basement from the outside to the inside, and then the loud sister's like, "Don't close the door." I don't know, that would have been pretty funny if it was there.
That would be like a reference to Rugrats if that was the case. But I mean, the running gag is still there though, where like every like sibling of the Louds just continue to go down the basement, and of course that whole doorknob is pretty much lost. So yeah, now they're in a situation where like Lily's missing, and the sisters and Lynn Senior are also down in the basement, and they also have to deal with that whole goat thing as well. So they have to figure out what's going on. What's the situation? Like, why is this goat problem? What this goat furnace thing problem is needs to be fixed, obviously. So, out of all people that wanted to like fight this whole monster, it would be Lola. How what were your thoughts on Lola actually becoming like that one person to actually step up and actually find out what the heck this monster is?
Yeah, honestly, given Lola's fearless nature, like she may be scared, but there are times where she has shown her bravery. Yeah, I'm also kind of surprised that it was Lola that would pretty much take the first step and actually try to fight the monster.
You know what?
Honestly,
Courageous. You know what? Courageous for Lola. I mean, that's a new character for her. If she ever if she was the one to actually step up and say, "Hey, I'm gonna fight this beast. I'm gonna figure out what's going on with this beast and shut him down and all."
I'm kind of surprised that it wasn't Lynn who would step up to the plate
Right?
and actually fight the
Still,
monster.
I mean, like you would expect a tough girl like Lynn to come up and do whatever it takes to stop this monster, but then Lola, out of all people, would be the one. I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, well, I would say props to Lola for that. I gotta applaud Lola for her bravery.
Well, Lola was brave enough and checked out the whole furnace, and it turned out to be Lily to be the monster overall. So again, the problem is fixed. Lola figured out who the monster is, and they even found the doorknob so they can actually get out of the basement. Your thoughts on this ending for the sisters and Lynn Senior?
Yeah, honestly, when I looked at it and it was actually Lily the whole time, I was just like, there was a part of me that semi suspected it, but like where it's pretty much a running thing in cartoons where it's just like when you see the shadows of a big scary creature, you think, oh my gosh, it's a big scary creature, we're all gonna die. But then when it comes out of the shadows, when something comes out of the shadows, it actually turns out to be something else other than the big scary thing. It's something that applies here where it actually turns out to be Lily the whole time. And I thought, okay, it actually kind of does make sense because when you think about it, Lily was nowhere to be found. So
well, the first thing that we thought about was the fact that she got vaporized by Lisa. Yeah,
vaporized by Lisa. Yeah, so
yeah, went to a different dimension and stuff like that. Even Lisa admitted it too. That's the reason why they wanted to use Hops to be the one to get Lily back.
That's what I mean, like semi-suspected, where it's like.
Well, here's the thing: how does Lily end up going down to the basement? Lily after that zap, I'm like,
yeah, I have no idea.
It's quite suspicious of like what they did. I'm like, okay, how can Lily move from like the bathroom all the way down to the basement?
Yeah, that's pretty sus. That's pretty sus. But nonetheless, Lily turns out to be alive, which relieves the entire Loud family, especially Lynn Sr., because like Lily Loud was Lynn Sr.'s number one
Mhm.
priority in terms of the whole day.
Oh, exactly, and good job for Lynn Senior to finally actually get that stress out of him.
Yeah.
So let's go back to Lincoln and Clyde because they were free from the police station to say. But when they arrive home, because nobody was around, Lincoln was pretty much thinking, "Where the heck are the sisters and where's Lynn Senior?" But Lincoln would actually look around and see the clothes on the ground and thought that what was it? Milkshake Marty ended up actually destroying the family. That idea I thought was like, huh? Would he do that?
Yeah, I mean,
um,
like, I'm thinking to myself, like, Milkshake Barty doesn't even know your family. They don't even know your address, Lincoln. So
well,
how would you?
the thing is that they said, yeah, we don't live in Royal Woods. We don't. You remember that one part where they like try to confess? It's like, yeah, we live really far away from Royal Woods.
I do remember that part, but I'm thinking to myself, like, how would they know like the exact address? Is what I'm
I
saying.
don't know. You do have police records, literally in the police station.
Okay, that's true. But even then, I don't think that he would share them with criminals like Milkshake
I
Marty.
don't know. He could do the same thing like we did what he did with Auntie Pam. And confess like who's this kid and let me get his address, and then he starts like going to the home and then destroy his family. That whole cruel idea of like turning him into milkshakes, and I'm like, what, this is kind of cruel, and I'm like, I expected to hear that from a kid show to say.
Yeah, I'm just thinking to myself, how do they make them humans into milkshakes? I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
You don't want to know, but it's that's the idea of it. um, so when Lincoln and Clyde pretty much knew that, well, when Lincoln thought that was it Milkshake Marty ended up, destroying the family and turning him into milkshakes, Lincoln would do whatever it takes to make sure his family comes back, and of course, right behind his back, his family's there. Um, so. How do you think about Lincoln learning the hard way about not trying to get out of the responsibilities?
Yeah, it was definitely like in a bizarre, weird way. It was sort of a way for Lincoln to learn to not take the easy way out and to fulfill his responsibilities of doing the chores. Even if, like I said, like the journey itself was a bit of a weird, bizarre way. Then again, this is Loud House we're talking about, even by live action terms.
Yeah.
It was still a good way for him to pretty much really hammer into his head that you can't take the easy way out. You gotta do the work and help your family out.
Yeah, at least here we get to see Lincoln just, say, "Hey, I feel so bad about, having my sisters get destroyed." To say, "Oh, I should have done my chores so that Milkshake Marty doesn't destroy my family again," or something like that. But here it's like after what he thought Milkshake Marty ended up doing, the family's there, he's fine, they're all fine, and in the end, I would imagine Lincoln pretty much learned his lesson of not, taking the easy way of pretty much getting out of chores.
Yeah, honestly, like pretty much it was pretty much, and he was like praying too. Like he was praying that, oh, oh, please give me my family back, and then I'll do my chores. And then lo and behold, his prayers get literally answered because his family's like right behind him. I thought it was
I
funny
thought that
timing. I
was
thought it was funny timing.
coincidental. I mean, even Clyde had to say like, "Yo, your family's right behind you."
I thought it was fun. I thought it was pretty funny timing, pretty good timing.
I thought it was really amazing just for that moment there. But nonetheless, I mean, it's great that Lincoln is reunited with his family and that they're not dead. So good for Lincoln, but he still has to do his chores. So instead of pretty much having the sisters do all the chores, it's pretty much him and Clyde doing it all. And of course, when you have a lot of chores around the house, it was going to take pretty much forever. That is until the rest of his siblings ended up coming in and also helped out with Lincoln doing the chores. Um, so they helped him clean the house, do all the things that are to make the house organized. And then in the end, Lincoln and Clyde end up, just doing their beach thing, but they ended up like getting knocked out while doing their beach thing. So in the end, all's good to say. What's your thoughts on this ending here for the chore thing?
I think that the ending to the chore thing was pretty sweet unto itself. Where you got Lincoln and Clyde doing the chores, and then you got the Loud sisters pretty much helping Lincoln and Clyde with the chores when it was supposed to be just Lincoln and Clyde doing. I'm thinking to myself, Lincoln's got some sweet, supportive sisters, and he is blessed to have them in his life. And also, when Rita came in and saw that the house was clean, um, how she was impressed by the clean, I'm just thinking to myself, Lots did good. Lots did a good job. And also, my God, the sweet ending where you got Rita pretty much being all motherly to Lincoln. Like as soon as she enters Lincoln and Clyde, she pretty much sees
Yeah.
them sleeping, and then pretty much she kind of like um, pats Lincoln, like kisses him or something like that. Pretty much tucks him in. I thought, oh my God, Mama Bear Rita.
I think this is a very sweet ending. I really do like the fact that like even if Lincoln had to do all these chores, the sisters are there to help her out, help him out of the situation. So it tells you like his siblings are definitely an awesome pair. Like he definitely has an awesome family just to help him out of his rut to say. And I do love this whole ending here where you get to see Lincoln and Clyde pretty much knocked out. They were going to do a beach day. I mean, that was the whole plan, right? The whole plan for this day was to do a whole beach thing in virtual reality. And then in the end, they ended up getting knocked out, not doing much. But I thought that was still sweet. I mean, in the end, they still ended up having quite an adventure to say for this day.
Oh yeah, it was quite a wacky adventure indeed. Yeah.
All right, yeah, I gotta put up the kids here. They're just knocked out.
Look at that.
Good
Look at
night,
that.
Lincoln and Clyde. You had an adventurous day to say. All right, anything else you want to bring up from this episode?
Yeah, and also the scene with going back to the mower scene with Lincoln and Clyde. Another thing that it instantly heavily reminded of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Like I got Mr. Toad's Wild Ride vibes just looking at the scene because it's pretty much a sort of like not only a vehicle, but it's more like a driving. It's sort of like a driving thing where it goes really really fast and the cops chase it. It's like I'm thinking to myself, that is Mr. Lau's Wild Ride.
I just loved all the references that are here in this episode. Auntie Pam's, for example, Hops here. And to be fair, I mean, I did love the fact that they did actually have an actress who works as Auntie Pam, which, you know, unfortunately she was captured. But I do like the fact they actually have an actress for Auntie Pam. Maybe she could actually appear in another episode coming up. Because, yeah.
That moment when live action Auntie Pam is a really loud house character before Mr. Grouse. I'm thinking to myself, poor Mr. Grouse, like you got to give the guy like some spotlight. But yeah, the actress who played Auntie Pam right here, like the milkshake Barty, pretty much pulls off the disguise to a T because like you can really tell that aside from the facial hair, like he really does pull off the disguise as Auntie Pam.
Yeah. I just hope the cop is not that, clueless or something, because it was easy to predict that it was a guy in a disguise. Come on, man.
The police are useless trope in cartoons. Like it's kind of a cliche.
I think is
Like,
it
cops are
really like
stupid.
I guess cartoons are just pretty much like, oh, we'll just have cops be dumb. I mean,
Chief Wiggum
yeah.
from The Simpsons comes to mind.
I see. And then, of course, the running gag when it came to Lynn Jr. becoming a sportscaster, like, oh, if I'm not going to be a sports star, I'll just have a backup plan and actually become a sportscaster. And then you get to see her just continue to become a sportscaster all throughout this episode. I thought it was just a really funny gag of just her just pretty much going play by play, saying like, oh, dad just ended up missing 4 kids instead of 3 kids, you know? Oh, I am down in the basement. Oh, we are all missing now, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I would imagine her being like a sportscaster in the future. I mean, look at the passion that she brings over there. Like I said before, Joe Buck in the making.
And like I said here, she's a good Lynn Jr. Like her actress is doing pretty well. I like how she's been portraying like, the character right now of Lynn Jr.
As much as I love Morgan McGill, I'd have to agree that this actress of Lynn Jr. definitely
I
lives
know
up to
people are
it.
missing Dora Dolphin and, Morgan McGill and a lot of other characters, but to be fair, they're doing a good job. I'm impressed with this one.
I am impressed indeed. I honestly thought it's not going to be the same as the original actress from the Loud Christmas movie. It actually managed to pretty much prove me wrong. I'm going to say, like, props to them for proving me wrong.
All right, I got nothing else to say. So, Omid, how would you rate the Chore Thing?
I would rate the Chore Thing a 7 out of 10. Like it was there were heartwarming moments, and then there were some moments I thought could have been done better. And there was like a few moments there where I was just, but then again, overall, you do feel for Lynn Senior and like his duties and how, like I said before, they managed to be proven to be easier said than done. And then of course, Lincoln and Clyde's chase scene was kind of entertaining. It felt like you were watching like some sort of like Need for Speed thing, and then uh, oh, and also just by the fact that you see the Loud sibling chemistry, like you see each individual scene with the Loud sisters, like Lola and Lucy, you see Luna and Lenny and Lisa, and all that kind of stuff. And of course, Lindsay Jr. as a sports announcer, good stuff. So yeah, overall, good episode, just good.
I'm loving the funny gags that are happening here. I mean, Lynn Jr. becoming a sportscaster definitely was an awesome time to see. Just just Lynn Jr. just becoming like a little annoying, but at the same time really funny. You also get to see a lot of references here, like Auntie Pam. I've got to see Auntie Pam in there. New characters as well. I didn't know about this whole Milkshake Marty because it wasn't even shown in the Loud House at all. So I'm guessing what they're doing in this episode, they're trying to experiment with brand new characters and putting them in the show. And so far, I don't know about this Milkshake Marty guy, but I feel like we're not going to see him again.
No, he's going to be one off. He's going to be one off.
Yeah. But still, I mean, again, more references to the Loud House, which, to be fair, looks great. If we could get to see the literal Auntie Pam's parlor, then it would be awesome. But nonetheless, it was just awesome. It's just good to see that. The characters are great. Really funny episode. I would say an average episode, not really the best episode, not anything stellar. So I give this also a 7 out of 10. Nothing out of the ordinary when it comes to this episode. Felt like there's some gags that are like kind of funny here and there, kind of not funny. But overall, not a bad episode to say.
You could pretty much call this Chore and Peace 2.0, but not really. It focuses on the Louds doing chores, but they take a different route with it, thankfully.
Yeah, thankfully, because obviously they don't want to have like a repeat in live action of that same episode to say.
Oh, and also there's this element from Chore and Peace where it's like they try to find Lily, like they think Lily's busy, like they think she's in danger, but it turns out she's fine.
That's right, because they had the running gag as well where Lily's missing.
Yeah, so that's another element thrown in there.
All right. But yeah, Chore Thing, not bad of an episode. Second episode of the Really Loud House. Why, not bad. So let's actually head over to the third episode of the Really Loud House called the Blemish Dilemish. Synopsis here says, we meet the action news team as Lincoln finds himself taken aback by a new crush. Uh-oh, here we go. We're talking about this new crush thing. This is the episode. We're going to bring it up, guys. Let's get to it.
Oh my God. Do I really have to talk about this?
Meanwhile, Rita and Lynn Sr. attempt to befriend a doctor to avoid the astronomical medical expenses that come with having 11 kids. So let's actually start off with the episode because it begins with Lisa having a problem. It turns out she might actually have a appendicitis or something that's going on with her stomach, to say. It wakes up Rita, Lynn Sr., and even Lucy. Apparently, Lucy was literally creeping in the bed, just sleeping next to them. And I'm like, okay, yeah, Lucy's just gonna be like this, is she? And she was about to I love the fact that Lucy was about to measure Lisa just to see oh, can I make up a grave for her now?
Yeah, you can tell that she was preparing for Lisa's death. You can tell that she's been preparing for it.
Yeah, but here's the thing now. Lisa thought it was appendicitis, which obviously is. Go back to the ER and see if it is really appendicitis. But it turned out to be, gas, because the night before they ended up having enchiladas, and of course, enchiladas ended up backing up her plumbing system to say. On top of that, that hospital visit was $300. So what are your thoughts on this dilemma that Lynn Sr. and Rita are having, the fact that they have to go to the ER all the time and they have to pay so much money to get that medical bill done?
Yep, that's healthcare for you. Healthcare in the United States, that costs arm and a leg. Yeah, you got to feel for Lynn Sr. here because think about it. You have a big family, right? You got 11 kids, and already one kid alone is really pricey. Just by a small hospital visit, it's not even like a surgery or checkup or anything like that. Okay, it's like a small checkup. It's not really a surgery or anything like that. So, like I said before, this really does show how it can cost an arm and a leg just for a checkup appointment for a Loud sister. And you could tell that Lynn Sr.'s face right here, you could pretty much tell by his face. It's taking a toll on him.
I got this picture literally after she lets it all out. So it's I think by now Lynn Sr. knew this is not appendicitis. We've been doing this a lot, but Lisa really wants to go to the ER to get it checked out, and of course it's not appendicitis, it's gas. And I'm like, God damn it, Lisa. And you're a
Yeah,
genius. You're supposed to know what is appendicitis and what is gas.
exactly. Like she couldn't figure it out for herself. I'm just thinking to myself, like she is supposed to be a genius, like you just pointed out.
Exactly. And yeah, I can understand why even going to an ER appointment or going even to the ER as well does cost a lot. So it makes sense why Lynn Sr. in this picture is just upset. It's like, why are we going through this again? I have to spend so much money just to make sure my kids are well.
Yeah, like let's see, it's just like here we go again.
Poor Lynn Sr. But this is what happens when you have 11 kids. So now let's head over to another side, not the hospital because we don't want something creepy anymore. Let's head straight to Royal Woods Middle School. Oh yes, we can finally get to see
Yes.
Royal Middle School. All right, now the action news team, which is obviously the main thing here, is brainstorming potential ideas for a story. Which Rusty reveals that Lincoln has a butt pimple. Oh boy. Okay, well that's gonna bite him in the butt. And yeah,
Find the
so
butt
let's actually start.
pimple.
Let's actually start off with the action news team. We already saw Lincoln and Clyde, but you also have to see the rest of the action team, right? You have to see Rusty, you have to see Liam, you have to see Zach, and you have to see Stella. And I am so happy that Stella's here. And I'm like, oh my god, yes, we finally got it right.
Yes. We got live action Stella, folks. Yes.
First impressions on the live action news team, because to be fair, they do a really good job too. The acting is perfect actually for them.
Yeah, they all pull off each and every character, not just by the looks, but by the performances. Like I'm so glad, but by the fact that we got a live action Stella, because when we saw the first promo image with just live action Zach, Liam, and Rusty, I'm thinking to myself, "Where's Stella? Stella, Stella!" And then lo and behold, it actually turns out that later Stella was right there right beside them the whole time. I'm just thinking to myself, "Yes, they haven't forgotten about Stella." I'm so happy about that.
How
But
about
look
first
at that.
impressions?
Look at the designs of the characters, especially down to the hair. Because when you look at especially Rusty and Liam's hair, like you got Rusty's curly hair, and then you got Liam's hairstyle. Also, it's
You
like
got
you
Liam.
could
You
tell
got
that they
Liam's
pull
bowl
off.
cut. You got Liam's bowl cut hair look, which, to be fair, is what Liam is. He has a bowl cut haircut, and the other thing too is that he even acts in like that southern accent as well. And I'm like, oh my god, this is perfect. He's literally perfect as Liam. Literally,
Yeah,
even saying
you
some
could tell.
barnyard
Like,
stuff, references here and there. Of course, Zach is Zach. He's just a nerdy person. To be fair, I can't wait to see if Zach talks about aliens because that's his thing. And of course, Rusty is Rusty. He just loves to be the player. He loves to be the guy who wants to be a player for everybody. Or for the girls.
yeah, and failing miserably at it. By the way.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we also did get to see Stella, which, to be fair, I'm happy. I'm like very happy. Like we never see Stella. We were really having our doubts. I mean, even when I've been on my Twitter, I was just literally saying, if I don't get Stella, I will riot. And thankfully, they actually did bring up Stella. And to be fair, they're all wearing the same clothes too. So we get to see like Liam in his outfit. You get to see Zach in his outfit. Rusty, that outfit is not correct. And you get to see Stella with the red star as well. So it's like, okay, you know what? You did like three out of the four characters correct, and they are acting perfectly. Like Stella is just still the genius person she is. She has that watch also, so it's just the design is perfect. Rusty again, she's again the player, and I've already said it already. Nonetheless, they still are perfect acting as actors like this.
Yeah, so now that you've seen live action Stella, Nate, you could put down your pitchfork and torch now. You don't need
I know,
it. You
I
don't
know.
need
Like I said, I was gonna riot. I'm like, what the fuck? Where is Stella, you motherfucker?
it.
Yeah, because to be fair, you have to have the live action team. You need to have Stella because she was a part of it. Yeah.
Exactly, and especially during the season 5, season 6 timeline, that Stella is a must.
Oh, and the other thing too, I forgot to bring it up on the chore deal. Did you see Rita's like name tag? It does say press on it, so it does tell you that she actually does work for the newspaper. Remember, she's not working on a novel anymore. She's working on the newspaper.
Yeah,
So they
and
are
another
actually
thing
doing their
too.
homework right. They actually doing their homework right, and actually are following up with what happened in season 5 and season 6. So hey, good job, really loud house crew.
Yeah, it's even said in the chore thing itself, where Rita says that she has like this story that she needs to report. So it's even said in her own words as well.
Right. Okay, but yeah, nonetheless, continuity has been working out well, and they're also doing some amazing references from the Loud House to the Really Loud House. So it tells you like they did their homework. Good job, guys. Good job. So here comes
Yes.
Mrs. Tight, who enters and introduces them to a brand new student to cover called Charlie Ugo, or forgot Yujo. She's French. I don't know. Um, she's a girl whose very presence makes all the boys literally attracted to her. Literally, when she just walks down the aisle, all the boys are just like, and I hate the fact that they even put the song Dreamweaver in the fucking walking sequence. And I'm like, oh man, are you really making this a love thing? making this Charlie person really like, cute, making all the boys like this girl? No matter what, Lincoln is definitely attracted to her. So much for Lincoln wanting to extend her interview with her. So what are your thoughts on seeing this, like about Lincoln's crush and this Charlie person finally coming in?
Nate, buddy, can I have your tortured pitchfork, please?
Oh
I
my
I
god,
like to.
really?
I like. I know you don't need it anymore, but I do. I really, really do. I'm like,
Oh no.
who the flip is Charlie? Like, where did she even come from?
What have I said before? They're trying out new characters. I mean, we had Milkshake Marty in the last episode. Now we're having this brand new girl come in and becoming the new crush for Lincoln. I'm like, oh great.
My God. And I really hate the fact that when Lincoln looks at her, she's just like, oh, she's the best girl of my life. Like, she's a girl of my dreams. I'm just like, Lincoln, buddy. I'm not sure if you remember, but there's a certain girl that lives 3 hours from you. Great Lake City, like, oh, I don't know, Roddy and Santiago. Like, really, you have much more chemistry with Roddy Ann than you do with this new girl whom you barely met for like 5 seconds. Like, how do you know that she's going to be the one for you? Okay, like, you're sipping on the wrong girl, buddy.
Anything else you want to say?
but like, I'll keep an open mind, and there might be more to her character than her just being the love interest. Hopefully, right. We'll see.
They didn't. I guess they didn't want to touch on the Loud House ships. I mean, we have Roddy Kid, we have Stella Kid, we have Girl Jordan Kid. So there was all these ships that were happening in the Loud House that the Really Loud House crew really did want to do something else and actually bring up a new character like Charlie. And apparently Lincoln likes Charlie. So hey, and I don't know what they're doing with the Really Loud House, but it feels like they want to keep the ships that have been in the Loud House just neutral, to say let them be friends, like Girl Jordan, for example, or Stella and Roddy Ann if she ever appears in the show. But now we get this brand new character, and I'm like, okay, I know that she's a brand new character. I know that a lot of people are getting their like heartbroken the fact that this new live actor Stella, this live actress Charlie is just come in and tries to break everybody's like ships, to say. And to be fair, it's like, look, I'm in for it. I'm down to see what they're gonna do with this, because I'm guessing what the Really Loud House crew is doing is just making Stella and Lincoln obviously just friends. We don't have Roddy Ann yet, so I'm assuming they're friends. And
for
just
now,
have this
now.
And then now just have this person here. And here's the thing: like, this is just a brand new show. This is how the Really Loud House writers are trying to do it. Don't hate on them just because they want to try something new. So that's all I can say. Like, hey, Charlie's not a bad character. She just started. Maybe she's gonna be something, awesome later on in the show. I mean, we do have more episodes of the Really Loud House to go through,
Yeah, like I said before, like, I'm obviously not loving the fact that Lincoln has a crush on the new girl, but as for the new girl herself, like, I'm not gonna bash her as a character. I'm bashing on the fact that like, Lincoln pretty much falls over heels for her, despite the fact that he barely knows her. And like I said before, he has barely had any chemistry. Like, he's had more chemistry with other girls, especially the aforementioned character, than Charlie.
Right. Well, nonetheless, I mean, I felt like the idea that the Really Loud House writers were doing, you know what? It's an experiment. Let's see how it goes. Hopefully, we're gonna see more Charlie, unfortunately. So I'm assuming like this is the way they're gonna go with it. We're gonna continue on talking more about this Charlie person later on this show, but I'm just saying, from this first impression, it's just a brand new character that Lincoln gets the hearts for. Is this going to work out? We'll see. It all depends. But yeah, let's just move on and let's just rethink our ships now. My Stelican ship is still there. Just I don't know how this is going to work out now.
We'll try to rethink our ships, but like it's easier said than done. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I make no promises.
So let's cut to the segment back at the Loud House here, because Lynn Sr. now hosts this whole pseudo doctor clinic here, where he treats his daughter's he treats his daughter's what is it, medical
Injuries, situations.
Yeah, it says miladies, by the way. Just before he can treat Lisa, who has been shot by an arrow, I don't know how. Just heads up on that. You also get this. No. So let's actually go through the sequences of like what happened, because that last one is just like really concerning. So let's start off with Lola, because she ends up having like a toothache, and the way that Lynn Sr. was thinking about healing Lola's problem was popsicles.
Yeah, I'm just like, how is popsicles gonna help? Like, granted, I know that Lynn Sr. doesn't exactly have a medical degree, but let's be real here. Like even with Lynn Sr. not having a medical degree, this is still a bit too out of the norm for Lynn Sr. to treat his family.
Yeah, there's that. Then we also get to see Lenny also get sunburned by sunbathing from the top of the roof. And then what did Lynn Sr. have as a cure? Put ranch dressing on your skin.
Ranch dressing? Are you for real? Lynn Sr., I don't care how much money you have to pay out of your pocket, you need a real doctor. Okay, like you're not doing
Exactly. Let's continue on. How about Lana have her head stuck in a bucket? So what did Lynn Sr. do? Oh, just put eye holes on the bucket.
You know, you could always look it up on the internet and say like how to cure your kids like quickly. You know, there's a little thing called Google, just saying.
Or you could have actually like try to do something to pull off the bucket instead of actually making her become Buckethead now.
Yeah, look at Lana Lau. She's pretty much, Buckethead girl now.
Okay, and then last but not least, we also get to see Luann do a practical joke, literally have an arrow stuck through her head. But then we also get to see Lisa literally have an arrow to the stomach. I'm like, what the fuck happened here?
Yeah, exactly. Like, how exactly does she get like an arrow like stuck to her like stomach or something?
There has to be
like
some context in this, because it's so interesting how Lisa ended up with an arrow stuck to her stomach.
You can't even argue that it's science, because like pretty much technology is more advanced than the arrow. So
I just don't know how this happened. Was somebody like shooting an arrow and then Lisa was just caught in the crossfire?
Or maybe you have a bot. Maybe she created a robot that is pretty much an archer that shoots arrows, like sort of like a robot Hawkeye or something.
Oh my god! Well, that'd be cool. They actually have a robot Hawkeye. This is gonna be the year 3000. We get to see like all the Avengers become robots.
Yeah, imagine that future.
So the thing is that what Lynn Sr. was gonna do is actually pull the arrow out of Lisa, but luckily Rita came in and obviously didn't want that to happen, and they know the problem here. Look, Lynn Sr.'s not a good doctor. I know that he's trying to save money just to make sure that with all these medical bills that are continuing to arise and every like sibling going to the doctor and all, it makes sense why they need to do something. Why Lynn Sr. wants to go for free and just do his own like remedies of trying to cure his daughters the same. So they need to obviously Rita and Lynn Sr. need to find a doctor, and what better doctor to find than Mr. Simmons, Dr. Simmons, I believe, right? Is that his name?
Yep. And of course, you got the Dreamweaver song playing again.
What the hell? What the hell is this? Seriously, what the hell is this? Oh, I thought that the Lincoln and Charlie thing was gonna be. I thought the Lincoln and Charlie thing was gonna be very romantic, but this apparently is romantic too.
Dream girl, dream dog. Dream girl, dream dog. And pretty much the wand doesn't just apply to romantic interest, but also the wand applies to the right medical doctor for the job.
I don't know. I expected, because the fact that like literally Rita and Lynn Sr. were just looking out to the window, and then you get to see this doctor just come by, just walking with a bucket of chicken, and you got everybody in the neighborhood also just like being goo goo gaga over this doctor, and I'm like, what's up with this? What is happening?
Yeah, I'm
God.
Like, be my dog, and I'm just. What's this?
Like,
I'm just waiting for like.
I think like one of the most hilarious like moments I've had in this episode. Like, yeah, we get to see Charlie and Lincoln have their moment with the Dreamweaver thing, but I never expected to actually have the Dreamweaver song implemented in this one.
You're just waiting for one of them to like get down on the knees and then propose and be like, "Will you cure me?"
I don't know. This is just it was just this is an amazing like sequence of moments that happened in this episode. Oh jeez. This was just great. All right, well, let's go. Okay, before we get too Goo Goo Gaga for Mr. Simmons, let's just go back to school and let's actually talk about this new segment that Lincoln was going to have, where he pretty much interviews Charlie. Charlie explains why she moved to Royal Woods, but then again, Lincoln was just so distracted that she didn't even listen to. Sorry, he didn't even listen to Charlie's words. So he thought it was like, it's funny. But then, of course, when Charlie's talked about some bad things, looked like Lincoln embarrassed himself. But what made it even worse was the fact that Lincoln actually admitted that he had a butt pimple. And this causes him to be an embarrassment to the entire school. What is your thoughts when you heard Lincoln pretty much blurt out right in front of camera saying that he has a butt pimple?
Okay, I know love makes you do stupid things, right? Like I know there's a saying that love can make you do crazy or stupid things, but let me tell you, this is taking it way too over the top. Okay, like that was just plain stupid of Lincoln to do. Like even as a lovesick puppy, like he literally just blurted out loud, like, "Oh, by the way, I have a butt pimple." I'm just like there are brain cells, like even in the brain cells that you didn't use in that particular moment, like you can still use your brain to not blurt out your most embarrassing secret. Just saying.
I don't
And
know
of
how
course,
he ended up actually. I don't know how he ended up just saying that he had a butt pimple. Was it just because he embarrassed Charlie? Is that the reason why he ended up like saying the fact that, oh, I have a butt pimple? Because like he literally was on par with the interview. Then he definitely spaced out because he was just daydreaming on who Charlie is and everything. Definitely missed out on what Charlie was saying, and then of course just blurted out, "I have a butt pimple." I'm like, that was so random to me. Like, why
yeah.
would you just say it literally as you're having an awkward moment right now?
Yeah, and just by the fact that, okay, like even if you want to make the argument that Lincoln wanted to change his subject because he didn't quite hear what Charlie said, so he didn't want to look like an idiot, even though with what he said, it kind of backfired on it. No, it really backfired on it.
Yeah, it
I
did.
feel like
It definitely
he
did.
why couldn't he just said something else? He could have just said something else random, like, "Hey, did you hear about Auntie Pam's parlor? They got this new chocolate chip mint ice cream." Or, "I had a piece of green jello for lunch today," or something like that. It's just like, why couldn't he have just said like any other
I,
thing?
I don't know how they approached it with the fact that Lincoln just blurts out, "I have a butt pimple." I'm like, why? Why would you do that, sir? Are you that
It
bad
was
with the plan? Is bad with the plan? Definitely didn't have a plan for that.
it was so abrupt. It was and the delivery of the butt pimple line was so abrupt.
I don't know. I just felt it was so weird, like having Lincoln just say, "I have a butt pimple," and of course he just embarrassed himself. It was his fault himself for pretty much saying, "I have a butt pimple," and in the end, everybody pretty much just all like laughing at him because of that. That was
Yeah,
his fault, not anybody else's. It was pretty much his fault. He blurted it out. That was his fault.
he brought it on himself. Exactly. Like, I want to feel bad for Lincoln, but then I'm thinking to myself, like, I want to feel sympathy for Lincoln, but I kind of don't, because, like, even as a lovesick kid, you should know better not to say that, like, out of nowhere.
Exactly, and I don't know. This just felt really awkward, just to have this guy Lincoln just continue just say it out loud. And I'm like, you're better than that, right? Lincoln, you're not supposed to do this.
Right. Like I said,
Oh, and
man with the
it's got
plan, my butt pimple.
shout out to the people who actually do this pose right. They actually did it pretty well. I mean, you had Liam pretty much go on his hands, and of course they're all standing doing all the waves and stuff. It was the signature
And then you
Action
got
News
Lincoln,
team's pose to say, yeah,
you got Lincoln doing like the boss pose, like the leader pose, like
yeah. So awesome to see that as well. Well, here's the thing. Like now, you pretty much embarrassed yourself. What made it even worse was the fact that even your other siblings were also looking at the video too, and even making remixes of the video. So, do you feel? So, I would just want to put an emphasis here. How bad did you feel for Lincoln? Just the fact that all of this is going around with him.
like I said before, like I want to feel bad for him because he shouldn't have to go through this kind of embarrassment at such a young age. But then again, that embarrassment could have been avoided. It was avoidable had he had just, came up with a plan to say something else without making him look stupid or without making him look like he didn't even really listen to Charlie.
I don't know what happened here. It just felt like, yeah, you're right. He just pretty much put himself into this hole. But then when you look back at like what the siblings were doing, I mean, even Luangi put a pun on him. Lenny looking at her phone and looking at a video about the butt pimple, and even Luna out of all people, Lily wearing a shirt about the butt pimple. I'm like, girl, I thought you were a supporting sibling to your brother.
Luna, I love you, but how could you? You got to take the shirt off. Come on.
Yeah, I just hate it. But she had to wear it also right in front of him. Nonetheless, we get it. Lincoln is pretty much embarrassed pretty much all throughout Royal Woods to say. So, yeah, not looking good for him.
Looking terrible for him.
So, now let's go back to the side story because they need to find, obviously, Lindsay and Rita need to find a doctor for their kids. So, what would they do? They need to obviously impress Dr. Simmons. So Lindsay and Rita would dress up in their finest to invite their neighbor, Dr. Simmons, over for a dinner so they can make him their family doctor to say. Pretty much free of charge. So Rita would put on a dress, Lindsay put on a suit, and I kind of hate the fact that Rita had a southern accent.
Yeah.
Where did that come in? Where did that come in?
It was so cringy. I could not even with that. Like, where did the southern accent come from? It's not even that fancy. Like, honestly, like if you want to really go fancy, if you want to go, honestly, if she did a British accent, it would have made much more sense. Given that, England, United Kingdom, long live the Queen, long live the King, all that stuff. Why southern accent?
I don't know, but either way, was it Rita ended up having a southern accent, trying to impress Mr. Simmons, and to be fair, Lindsay didn't actually know about this either, so it's like, this is awkward.
Yeah, like I said before, it all comes down to the facial expressions. It's like the small details that really does, explain big. Like it pretty much, it's the small details that really does get you. Like Lynn Senior's facial expressions right here, whereas it's like, Bryce Stephanie really does pull off the facial expressions in Lynn Senior.
Here's my thing now. In the Loud House, we get to see Rita actually go with a southern accent. Let cartoon Rita have her southern accent now. If that's the case.
I actually kind of want to see that. I kind of want to see cartoon Rita have a southern accent because, like I said before, there's so much you can get away with in animation that you can't really get away with in live action. Because live action,
it reminds me of that one time
it
reminds me of the one time where Lynn Senior and Rita were into country. Maybe that's the reason why they have these southern accents.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, I remember that. Oh God, that song that they sang in Really Loud Music. I love Really Loud Music. It's a 10 out of 10. But that particular song alone, not a fan of. Especially
but I don't think you could get that southern accent because of the country songs or anything like that. But yeah, it was just surprising because I never hear Rita at all in the Loud House go with the southern accent. Now she just brings it up. I don't know. I know it's just for pretend, but I don't think you could pull it off here.
Yeah, no, like no offense to her actress. Like her actress does, her best at what she's been given, but yeah, the southern accent, not a fan of that.
No. So yeah, they go into Dr. Simmons's house. And the thing is that obviously they try to invite him, and the way to invite him was pretty much give him fried chicken. So what are your thoughts on Dr. Simmons being swayed by chicken? I mean, it wasn't even obvious, just the fact that he was still holding a bucket of chicken, even if they got introduced by the Louds. Somebody likes chicken. I don't know.
Yeah, I love me some fried chicken myself. Okay, so I'm just saying, like, if neighbors have, if I see some neighbors and then they sway me, they try to buy me fried chicken, I would be like, okay, I'm all in. So honestly, this is pretty much a fried chicken lover side of me. That's just like, I can understand why Dr. Simmons would be easily swayed. But then again, just by the fried chicken alone was a bit of a, cheap and a bit, rushed way to have Dr. Simmons come over for dinner for the Louds.
Well, nonetheless, I mean, they invited Mr. Simmons over and they're going to have a dinner. So, hey, awesome, great stuff for the Louds, or for Lynn Senior and Rita, because they need a doctor for sure. So let's head back to Lincoln because we understand what's going on with Lincoln. He's pretty much embarrassed. He's depressed. I mean, who would be after being an embarrassment through your whole middle school? We get to see Lincoln pretty much in a depressed state, and she was about to get buried literally buried alive by Lucy. What are your thoughts on this scene here?
Oh my god, like honestly, Lucy's just like waiting. She's like waiting to bury someone, whether it be Lisa or Lincoln or any of her loud siblings. It's just like, dang, Lucy really wants her siblings dead for some reason, doesn't she? Anyway,
She literally was about to bury Lincoln. I don't know how Lincoln ended up having his bed literally in the ground. I was like, were you that depressed that you really want to be buried in the ground?
yeah, honestly, like Lincoln right there is a total mood. Like honestly, when you look at Lincoln lying like in the hole and with Bun Bun, I'm just thinking to myself, hey man, we've all been there. We've all felt that. So yeah,
Also,
Lincoln Lounge is a
Lucy.
mood.
Also, Lucy. The fact that she's about to bury her brother. I'm like, what?
Jeez, Lucy's actually kind of sadistic. Like Lucy's becoming real sadistic here in this episode.
I guess so. I mean, we get to see her creep up with her parents, and we also get to see, what was it? Yeah, Lucy pretty much burying Lincoln. What the hell? I don't know. It just felt pretty awkward. But nonetheless, look, we get it. Lincoln is a bit depressed. You get to see Lincoln literally hug a Bun Bun. By the way, last reference, they have Bun Bun.
Yeah, they accurately portrayed, like they captured Bun Bun accurately.
So here's the thing. It's kind of cool that Lincoln does have older sisters. So you get to see Letty, Luna, and Luann try to comfort Lincoln by telling him how to win over Charlie after Lincoln falls into depression after that whole incident. Then, as soon as they cannot help him, Lynn Sr. tries to help him out as well, but he can't help him because he wants to make sure Mr. Simmons is the doctor to say. What's it say? Dr. Simmons right for dinner. What are your thoughts on the Loud Sisters and Dad trying to comfort Lincoln in this situation?
Yeah, even though those scenes were really short-lived, it really does show how the Loud Sisters and Lynn Sr. and pretty much Lincoln's family in general, they pretty much try to be there for Lincoln. They really do care about him. They understand how he feels, and they try to come up with their own solutions, their own ways to help Lincoln. But it's just that unfortunate timing that is pretty much a roadblock to that.
I hated the fact that they were going to do it literally right before the dinner was going to happen. So they were going to have fried chicken. The fried chicken was available, and you get to see the sisters try to dig over the fried chicken. Lynn Sr. trying to come in to help Lincoln out of his situation, but then you get to see Dr. Simmons come in, and then obviously all the family members didn't help. So it's like, oh, okay, well, thanks for nothing. You should have helped Lincoln out because he's definitely depressed,
Like I said, it's the unfortunate timing. Like if Dr. Simmons wasn't coming in this hour, then the Loud Sisters and Lynn Sr. Would have still gone along. They still would have like carried their plan to help out Lincoln.
Exactly, but unfortunately, it was just like I said, bad timing. No matter what, they still had an amazing dinner. Looks like the Loud family had an amazing dinner. Lynn Sr. and Rita were impressed, and even Dr. Simmons was even impressed with the dinner. He liked the chicken, so good job, Lynn. Lynn Sr. Rita tries to make him stay behind and play games in an attempt to get medical advice. However, Dr. Simmons actually reveals that he has been frequently manipulated into admitting medical advice, but agrees only to treat one person. And this is the best part about this episode because it feels like, look, who needs the best treatment? Obviously, Lincoln. So you get to see Luna, Letty, and Luann say, "We need Lincoln. You need to help our brother Lincoln. He has a butt pimple." Same with Lynn and Rita, pretty much saying, "Hey, look, if you're going to treat one kid, please treat this one kid because he's depressed and also he has this butt pimple." So Dr. Simmons would do whatever it takes to get the butt pimple out, and he was able to actually fix it. Apparently, it was like one of the worst butt pimples to ever see. And it led up to Lincoln pretty much being in a diaper. So I want to just go straight to the whole sequence here. What are your thoughts on what happened here, where you get to see the siblings and the parents try to help out Lincoln in their situation?
You do feel bad for Lincoln here, but then again, like I said, because of the support of his family, and of course, his doctor, it's good to know that he's got like a support circle around him to pretty much help him get through this. But the result of his appointment, though, not exactly the best results for him because he ends up in an adult diaper. So yeah, it pretty much makes things a bit worse for Lincoln, but at least it helps the butt pimple heal.
So it was going to be fine until Charlie came in and saw the diaper, and I'm like, oh boy. I want all the times because you literally were about to like wave away Dr. Simmons, And then out of all places, Charlie just comes up and just sees Lincoln in the diaper. I'm like, wow, this is like, wow, bad timing too. How dare you have
Yeah.
Charlie come and see Lincoln in the diaper?
Yo, the timing of it, man. The timing is just wild.
I don't know. I don't know how awkward this was for him because literally, you have like the siblings are literally right there. They're all supportive of what Lincoln was gonna do. Plus, it was all gonna be good. Like, hey, things were gonna be great until Charlie just comes in, and now you get to see Lincoln in a diaper, and Charlie's just definitely creeped out. I'm like, oh boy.
Oh man.
Yeah, this is not.
Yeah.
This is good. This wasn't good.
Yeah, Lincoln's like pretty much wearing a diaper. Like he's pretty much dressed as a rugrat right here.
So, how embarrassed were you for Lincoln? If you were like in Lincoln's shoes, how embarrassed were you for Lincoln in this?
Honestly, I'll be 100% embarrassed. Like if I wore a diaper next to a girl. Okay, I'm just saying.
Hmm.
Yeah, you gotta feel bad for Lincoln, but then again, it is to help his butt pimple heal. So pretty much there was no other option.
Yeah, what was no other option? But like I said, why would you have Charlie just come up and actually see that the whole diaper now? Ooh. So the next day, footage of Lincoln and his diaper became pretty much viral at school. Lincoln once again had to hide Lucy's grave to avoid the humiliation, but this time Clyde and Rusty actually were able to come in to help Lincoln out of his situation. So what Rusty was going to do was actually have him become a star in his talk show, Real Time with Rusty, which by the way is a brand new thing. It is not in the Loud House at all. This is a brand new segment. Apparently, it's more popular than the Action News team. Real Time with Rusty apparently is this new like Oprah show that Rusty has
Yeah,
just made, and it looked to be very successful to say.
yeah, there are like some things I'm just thinking to myself, why wasn't this the animated show? Because like Real Talk with Rusty does have the potential to play a significant role in a Loud House episode. I kind of want to see this on season 7, like the animated.
I swear to God, like, not gonna lie, that was a good idea. I'm like, why didn't they do that? The Loud House, the really Loud House writers did a really good job with this. I'm like, wow, you know what? This is great. Why doesn't the Loud House crew actually have this idea and actually bring it into the animated show? Who
I don't
knows?
know.
I mean, it'd be great to have that. It'd be an awesome like Royal Woods Middle School thing to have. Like have Rusty and have a couple of students come in, talk to Rusty, just like Oprah show. Just like a real
Yeah,
life talk show.
honestly, I'm picturing this like Rusty is the next Stephen Colbert or the next John Oliver or the next Trevor Noah.
No, I feel like it's more towards Oprah from the way I'm seeing this because you saw this whole gag here. It was like you get a juice box, you get a juice box, everybody gets a juice box, and I'm like that's definitely Oprah.
Okay, yeah, it's definitely more akin to Oprah. I'll definitely give you that. Rusty Winfrey.
Oh God, I want to go at that level. But to be fair, I mean he is a very confident young man. He could really pull off a talk show. I mean, why not make it happen? I'm looking at you, Loud House animated crew. I think you could actually try to pull this into an episode somehow.
Exactly, because that would really help elevate Rusty's character. He actually needs this talk show in order for Rusty to have like some sort of memorable qualities. Because if you really do take away the real talk with Rusty, Rusty's just there as one of Lincoln's friends and a bit of a failed playa or something like that. Nothing much interesting about Rusty. So
That's
I want to see
true.
more real talk with Rusty.
If anything, I feel like this episode definitely emphasized more about Rusty, just like him becoming a talk show host. He's still being the player. I mean, you get to see it sometimes in this episode, but to have him have his own talk show, I never expect to actually see that from him. But it can work, It definitely can from what we see in the Blemish Dilemish to say. So yeah, on the show, um, so yeah, Real Time with Rusty is going to happen. Lincoln is going to be the star. On the show, Rusty had Lincoln talk about his humiliation, but Lincoln would make a powerful speech explaining that everyone has flaws and they just need to be just need the confidence to be not brought down by the flaws. This is met with standing ovation across the world. So, what are your thoughts on this Lincoln's powerful speech that he had to say in that show, Real Talk with Rusty? To say.
Yeah, it was really brave of Lincoln to say that. Now, pretty much, um, it kind of surprised me of how it pretty much like the entire audience was like easily swayed by Lincoln's powerful speech, considering the fact that Lincoln was in a diaper and an adult in a diaper,
He was
but
pretty much
he actually,
embarrassed in all aspects with the whole fact that he even said that he had a butt pimple and the fact that um he literally was caught on camera with a diaper on.
Yeah, and but I do like the how Wolfgang gave such a powerful performance in a powerful speech. It's just like like Lincoln with the courage and with the powerful speech giving, he was able to deliver the message of, hey, everyone has flaws, and you just have to have the confidence to pretty much um, to not be brought down by the flaws, like you said. So I really do like this iconic moment from Lincoln right there, because it really does show how Lincoln can really stand out by being inspirational. Like, he's had inspirational moments in the show, like Save Royal Woods, where he has inspired people. So I like that they brought that side of Lincoln here as well.
I just felt like this was definitely a defining moment for Lincoln, especially the fact that with all this embarrassment that's going down, he had to stand up and say, "Hey, nobody's perfect. Hey, I have my own flaws. What can I do? I mean, I had this butt pimple, and I'm sorry that I had to say it. I really had to blurt it out. Stop like laughing me down, because we all have our own embarrassing moments as well." And I really do love this part where Lincoln just literally stands up and says, "Hey, we all have done this. Hey, you don't need to be like laughed on and things like that." So it makes sense why everybody around the world was pretty much like clapping to this. And I don't know why it was shown around the world. I thought it was just going to be in Roy Woods Middle School. I didn't expect to be like in the outstretches of the United Nations to say. But yeah, Lincoln's speech was definitely motivational, and everybody definitely agrees with it. I would imagine he's not an embarrassment anymore.
Yeah, no, like, if anything, like, he's an inspiration now.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, and great job for Lincoln. If anything, this definitely does stand out for Lincoln to be like a great person to say. So Charlie congratulates Lincoln on the speech, admitting him to be a great and reliable person, and revealing that she has extra toe. So that's something embarrassing for Charlie. However, when he tries to ask out Charlie, it turns out that she's already taken by Rusty, out of all people. So yeah, Lincoln is disheartened, joins, and then of course, it's just like buried in the ground with the family as well. So to say the least, he is a little bit depressed, but at least his family is there to help him out. But let's just talk about the twist. How the heck was Rusty and Charlie a thing? What are your thoughts on that?
Thank you. There is hope for live action Veronica after all. Thank you. Yes. Like, oh my gosh, like, thank you, Rusty. Thank you, Rusty, for giving hope to us Ronikin shippers. And
or to any shipper. Hello, I really hope Excelicate is a thing.
They're a friendship ship. I'll give it that. They're friendship.
Oh my god.
But anyway, going back to like Charlie, I like the fact that Charlie respects Lincoln. Like, that's what I like, is that you don't need to have like always have the main protagonist get together with the girl at the end. No, you can have the girl respect the main protagonist while not exactly getting together with him, like, pretty much, because it happens sometimes. And I would imagine Rusty and Charlie, I'm kind of curious how they would turn out. I'm kind of curious how they would
really don't know how this is going to work out. Plus, the other thing too is the fact that, like, even in other episode synopsis that we're going to be watching coming up for the Really Loud House, they do still say Lincoln is still Charlie's crush. So I mean, sorry, Charlie is still Lincoln's crush. So I'm like, oh wait, are we still going on with that trope, or are they going to start changing up the synopsis or something?
They better not. They better not use one of my most hated trope ever, the love triangle. If they see a love triangle between Lincoln, Rusty,
I don't think there's going to be a love
I'm
triangle. Let's say I don't think it's going to be a love triangle. Let's say, for example, Rusty and Charlie do break up, and then Lincoln will be the rebound guy or something like that.
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, but dude, like, Rusty's your friend, Lincoln. Come on, Rusty's your friend.
Doesn't Rusty like get revenge on you or something now? Oh my god, I don't know. This is just going to be interesting, but
it's speculation now at this point.
No, it's just pretty much speculation. Yeah, you're right. I mean, like, okay, so with these next upcoming episodes coming up, is Lincoln going to be continuing with Charlie, or is this synopsis going to change? I really hope that is going to be the second option. But if it is going to be continuing on with Lincoln and Charlie, having Lincoln be like Charlie be Lincoln's crush and everything, this is going to be like really complicated, considering that Rusty is also like literally Charlie's boo to say. And I don't know if Lincoln wants to mess up with that.
Like I said, all speculation. Like, but keep in mind, the series is just starting with its like third or fourth episode, and we still got like 16 more episodes to go. This is a total of 20 episodes per season, so anything can happen.
anything can happen. We'll see. I mean, we still have a lot more really loud house episodes to review. So, like I said, we'll see how it goes. But how'd you like this whole ending here, where you get to see like Lincoln literally buried in the grave, and then you also get to see the family also come in and also help him out in the situation.
Oh, great! They could all be buried together. Not just kidding. I really do.
Lucy's
like,
in there. Why, you gonna take Rita to bury them?
No, but you never know. Like Lucy could crawl out of the hole, then she kind of like dig the whole family herself. It's like you never know with Lucy. But then again, I do like how once again it shows the family dynamic between each of the Loud siblings and each of the Loud family members. It really does show how they can have their moments together, like even outside of the house. You see them literally in the hole, and also I like the fact that like Clyde actually does more in the live action show than in the animated show. Like Clyde really does feel like a true Loud, honorary Loud family member in the live action series than the animated show. Like funny enough.
And to be fair, he also to be fair, José Bruno did also voice Clyde too for like a little bit.
Yeah, so isn't it kind of weird? It's kind of funny how like Clyde feels more of an honorary Loud in the live action show than the anime show, mainly because you see Lincoln and Clyde like just their scenes mostly in the animated show rather than having Clyde interact with the Loud family members. You don't see much of that in the anime show. In the live action show, you see Clyde interacting with everyone.
I feel like in this case, it feels like Clyde is going to be like a staple to the show. I mean, we get to see the parents for a little bit in the previous episode we reviewed, but I don't know. It just feels like Lincoln and Clyde are definitely the stars of the show. So I would imagine Lincoln and Clyde definitely having like their own thing in every episode of the Really Loud House, because you get to see the next episode coming up this Thursday. You get to see this robot person hanging out with Clyde, and you get to see again Lincoln and Clyde also hanging out. So I just feel like these two like characters are going to be the stars for the Really Loud House. You get to see some characters here and there, but no doubt it's definitely a Clinkin McCloud show because you get to see them as the stars. I mean, even in the credits, you can see Wolfgang's name, you can see Zashir Bruno's name. So it just feels like it is definitely a Clinkin McCloud show.
Yeah, the Clinkin McCloud energy is definitely there. Like it's definitely like the Really Loud House embraces Clinkin McCloud.
Yeah, and to be fair, I mean, they are good pals after all. Well, let's see how it goes, because it feels like, nonetheless, they are really making a pretty good show to say. Anything else you want to bring up from this episode?
Nothing much I want to say except I want to see where they continue with Charlie's character. Like, because I feel like in this particular episode, Charlie did not stand out to me at all. Like, they were doing with her what I feared the most. She didn't have much role.
She literally just got introduced. She pretty much talked to Lincoln about being introduced, and then she just gave her homework, and in the end, we get to see that she's hooking up with with Rusty.
Yeah, the first impressions aren't really that great because you don't really know much about Charlie other than Lincoln loves her. Like she's pretty much just the love interest. And I'm thinking to myself, I hope that in future episodes they expand upon Charlie's character. Like they do much more with her. Like what are her interests? What she like to do?
Yeah, we'll see. I just hope it doesn't end up being like a wasted secondary character or something. I do gotta say this. I am impressed with Redwoods Middle School. You guys did a really good job with the sign. Of course, you definitely nailed it to a T when it came to the secondary characters, especially the Action News team. You definitely did an amazing job with Rusty, Liam, Zach, and Stella. Because I'm like, oh my god, they're perfect. They literally act just like Liam. Like the Liam character definitely acts like Liam. Zach definitely acts like Zach. Rusty, it's a stable Rusty, and then Stella's still stable Stella. So it's like, oh my god, I just love it. And the fact that like I wouldn't actually go straight to Nick headquarters and actually literally say, "Where's my Stella?" Because to be fair, I was gonna riot. I was gonna be like, "Where's my fuck is my Stella?"
Yeah, now it's pretty much the Ronnie Ann fans' turn to riot. Like they'll be like, "Where's my Ronnie Ann?"
Can we at least have like an appearance of a Casa Grande, if anything? Like, can we have Ronnie Ann? Can we have, Bobby? Well, you did see Bobby in the.
We did have Bobby in the Christmas movie, but that's really about it.
But I don't know if he's gonna come back. I'm just hoping we get to see at least a Casa Grande here or there. Who knows? I mean, it'd be great to actually have them come into the show, or maybe it's going to be the second season if they have a second season, but we'll wait and see, because I can't wait to see how these next episodes are going to be.
Yeah, same here. I still think the Really Loud House overall is still meh. Like honestly, like I feel like, of course, the animated version is so much better, but really Loud House, like I said, still better than expected, but not one of the greatest things I've seen still, but still better than expected.
All right, I got nothing much to say. So how would you rate this episode, Blemish Dilemish?
I would say that I would say this episode is sort of like a 6.5 out of 10, honestly. 6 or 6.5.
Interesting. 6.5.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, there were some pretty cringy moments, especially with Lincoln's really stupid butt pimple statement when he was confessing to Charlie. And then of course, like, Charlie should have had more character, but then again, that's for future episodes to decide. I do like the fact that you do see, like, the Dr. Simmons with his fried chicken.
And the whole Dreamweaver song.
The Dreamweaver song. The Dreamweaver song was one of the best things about it. Dreamweaver song was one of the best things about it. And then of course, the live action performances were very well done. Like, and all that stuff. Real Talk with Rusty. Real Talk with Rusty. I want to see more of Real Talk with Rusty, because that was honestly one of the best things about the episode. And I do like the fact that how Lincoln and Charlie don't automatically get together in the end, but they still respect each other. And the ending was nothing short of sweet.
I gotta say this though, I think this episode was definitely one of the better, Really Loud House episodes. In the same level as the first episode of the Really Loud House. Everything was just, I felt like everything was just amazing, from like the visuals to the acting to pretty much like having our answers have our questions being answered. I mean, we were all coming in seeing like, oh, is the Action News team gonna have it completely? We get to see Liam, Rusty, and Zach. Where's Stella? Hey, Stella's there. Hey, we're all happy now. Okay. I understand the whole embarrassing moment thing was obviously a little slip up for Lincoln, but in the end, he did do his best to make sure that everyone knows that an embarrassing moment like that is just common. We all have flaws. That emotional speech definitely was great at the end. I think that was just impressive for Lincoln's character. A lot of funny gags here and there, especially the whole Dreamweaver sequences. And I'm like, God damn it. I thought it was just for Charlie, but then you put up with Dr. Simmons as well. I'm like, okay, well, I guess this is going to be a running gag for this episode, isn't it? And to be fair, it is hilarious. It was just hilarious. I mean, like, even when I first saw the episode, I was just laughing like throughout most of the episode because of all the funny gags that we're putting up here.
Yeah, like the empowering speech, like I said, this episode contains some good moments, bad moments combined together. It's an okay episode.
I gotta disagree with you. You say 6.5, but I think this is definitely one of my favorite episodes of the Really Loud House so far. I mean, especially the emotional moment, the ad at the end, the funny gags, just everything in it just felt like a pretty decent, but I have to say pretty above average when it comes to a Really Loud House episode. Because you're coming in thinking like, oh, it's just gonna be a bland like live action episode. But to me, I feel like this episode definitely was like, did hit the cakes. I was laughing throughout most of the episode. It was good. Like, I really one of the best ones over for the Really Loud House. So I gotta give this a 8.5 out of 10 when it comes to the ratings. Because yeah, I would say this is not bad. Like, when you think about like the other live action shows, when it comes to cartoons being live action, they do have a bad job when it comes to trying to make it live action. But so far so good. From the first 3 episodes, we did have some flaws here and there, but in the end, everybody's doing really well when it comes to acting, when it comes to the visuals, when it comes to pretty much trying to replicate what was the Loud House to the Really Loud House. And it's, like I said, to me, it looks really good. So that's my thoughts on it so far. Because look, we're only 3 episodes in, and like I said, it's impressed me so far. Maybe for some of you guys, you're kind of like bland, kind of, I get it. You're kind of one of those haters that say like, oh my God, it turned to a live action. Oh my God, I ain't gonna hate the show. I'm still into this ride. Look, as we're only 3 episodes in, but I'm really happy with what's happening with the production when it comes to the show. And I know we have a lot more episodes to review, and we don't know if it's going to be good, if it's going to be bad, depending on how the ride is going to be in this wave of like emotions when it comes to the Really Loud House. But so far, I say it's positive. It's been positive so far for these last 3 episodes, and I hope this trend continues on as we continue watch more Really Loud House. But Omid, your thoughts so far in the first 3 episodes?
Like I said before, it ended up being better than I thought it would be. But like I still kind of say though that even though they did a really good job with live action Loud House, okay, they did a fantastic job. Like, the idea itself feels a bit unnecessary, but I do like how they pulled it off. Like, of course, the animated version is still much, much better, but then again, it's the OG Loud House. With Really Loud House, like so far from what I've seen, I'm just say like I am sort of impressed by this. We're gonna see how the episodes in the future turn out.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm still on for the ride. I'm still gonna be watching this, and I'm really excited. Just to be fair, like everybody's still holding on to their part, even if we did lose a couple of actors and actresses from the movie to this live action show. They still do their part. I mean, Lynn Jr. is doing great. Lady Loud is doing great. So I got no complaints. They're doing really good with their acting. So let's just keep it that way.
No, the acting is phenomenal. Like the acting is one of the stronger. The acting is one of the stronger aspects of it.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm still in for it, so that's why we're continuing to do more Really Loud House reviews. Hopefully, this would still continue on because I really do like how the show is going so far. All right. Anything else to bring up before we close it out tonight?
Nothing much I want to say. Except read up never with the southern accent again, please.
Oh God, the southern accent. I just hope she doesn't pull it off again.
Also, Real Talk with Rusty. Let's go.
Let's have it. Let's have a live. Let's have an animated version of it. Come on, let's have Let's have the animated Rusty have his own show too.
I agree.
I'm looking at you, Loud House crew. You can do this. Come on. All right. Well, that's pretty much it for our episode reviews for the Really Loud House. Just remember, you can listen to our Loud Casa Talks podcast on all podcast providers: Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. We're going to be there for you for new episodes and all. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching on our YouTube, just hit the red button on the top and also hit the bell button to be notified when it'll be coming on next. And of course, we also do have our Twitch channel as well. Head over to twitch.tv/LoudCasaTalks. Follow it. We're always live every Wednesday. So come on and check out the channel so you can actually see our recordings live. And then I'll just let you guys know that next week we're going to have a brand new Loud Casa Talks episode. We already know what's been happening with Lady Loud. We've seen like Lady have her relationships here and there with Chaz, with this one bland guy, with Scott over at the movies. But now it seems that it is official that Lenny is going to be dating Gavin, this one person that we met up in food courting. So Lenny has this whole turbulent ride. And to be fair, we kind of don't like Gavin. Or so we think. We're going to be going deep into the analysis of what Lenny's love life has been. And we're going to be talking about it next week. So get ready for a brand new episode of Loud Casa Talks where we talk about the fallout of Gavin and Lenny. Or more like what's good going on with Lenny and her love life to say.
Yeah, get ready for that because let me tell you, we got a lot, and I mean a lot to say about that.
I mean, to be fair, at least not the bland guy.
Oh yeah. Honestly, still better than that bland guy from Undercover Mom. I don't know what the flip was up with that.
We're going to be going more in depth about why Chaz is not a part of the show. Oh, he's gone now, blah. And I have to say, for the fallout of Gavin, I'll just put a little preview for everybody here. Just because Gavin and Lady are confirmed, it just tells me that the movie is just not canon anymore. That's the bad part.
See, Lenny and Scott had that chemistry because they were both ditzy. They were both, and plus, like, Scott was an interesting character. Like Scott, because it was the guy that Lenny was interacting with. Like they see themselves in each other.
Well, like I said, we'll go ahead and go. Like I said, we'll go in depth when it comes to this whole brand new news about Gavin and Lenny to say. But yeah, that's pretty much it for us here. Thank you all very much for checking out our Loud Casa Talks episode reviews when it comes to the newest episode of the Really Loud House. So again, thank you all for watching. My name is Nate.
And this is Omid saying thank you all so much for listening. Thank you all so much for watching. And we're off to a pretty decent start with Really Loud House, but we'll see what the future holds. And so thank you all so much for your support and have a happy holidays, everyone. Until next time, smell you later, Really Loud crowd.